Hello everybody, here's Luis Daniel Maldonado Fonken, and today I would like to share a story. This is a place where I practice every day, where I work and where I meditate and where I take care from my customers. So the story today will be about that. Today I am celebrating. Since the month of June, in which I did launch my personal brand, my own website, I have finally reached 10,000 visitors. This is a meaningful number for me, mostly because I started in a very unique set of conditions. As a solopreneur, you face all sorts of challenges, and with ups and downs and challenges, you always need to learn and grow and go through. And today I want to share my story with you. This passage of the last year. As many of you probably know, and those that have watched the video, I posted about 40 minutes telling the story of the challenges I experienced last year. What you will receive today is the follow-up. So last year I had to stop many projects. An issue that is very unhappy for me, very sad to share about when, for different reasons that you can watch in the video, customer partners decide to change their loyalty and their responsibility and their ethics and make choices that are totally inconvenient for you or for your partners or your customers or your future vision. Well, that happened last year and it created an impact of more than 50,000 euros in my development plan. As a result, I had to stop all the projects I was developing and contracting people had to stop and I had to stop everything. But when you stop something doesn't mean that the projects end. It means only as a solopreneur that you will need to build new set of conditions that are more favorable for you to keep growing, to keep evolving. A setback should become a tiger jump. And a tiger jump means you will need to grow. If something didn't work, that is a great lesson and you can overcome that barrier. Learn what you didn't do correctly or properly. In this case, I had to be more careful and having a longer term of assessment, probably not 1 year or two, but 5 years, to really trust and put myself in vulnerability with partners or customers that were collaborating with me for some time. But well, this is already a story of the past. What happened this year? This year I did complete different milestones every month on upgrading my tools and my knowledge. We started with fractal time, a very deep process I'm still evolving through that helped me improve my productivity for 100%. So I managed to get more time for what I wanted to achieve. I focused myself on the art of manifestation, researching on everything I have learned since I was a kid about manifestation, how to realize your goals, with the following background statement. The target is not the goal. To bend the quantum field is. So manifestation brought me to the question now that I have put all my tools and experience together and have enhanced 10 times my knowledge and my methodology for manifestation. What should I manifest? And that came to the next stage of growth and development, working on regeneration. So you want more health, more vitality, more energy. And in the process of working on regeneration and every day have been polishing tools and putting knowledge together and setting some milestones and goals for research and development and so on, I came to some very meaningful information. And this happened at the same time while I was working on the Primordial Temple, this safe space for exploration of conscious sexuality, conscious parenting, and relationships. And in that moment, I was in parallel working on regeneration and came to one very important realization. By looking at the projection in 2 dimensions of the organic tissue of the human body, from the brain to different organs, I arrived to some patterns. And these patterns are indications of how our body works and correlated functionalities, both in the brain as in other organs. Now, interesting is that those patterns in 2 dimensions correlated to the patterns in 3 dimensions may have patterns correlated in a hypergeometrical structure. So I started researching more based on my previous know-how too, on multidimensionality, frequency, patterns, functionality, physics, on how this hyperstructure can actually evolve or develop or explain as properties that belongs to a hyperbody and hyperconsciousness, and how the hyperbody is able to host within itself multiple quantum selves in different realities, possibilities, endless possibilities. And therefore, self-regeneration comes to the point of self-awareness, embracing the hyperbody consciousness, the hyperconsciousness, and evolving through it, integrating manifestation, fractal time, conscious sexuality, regeneration, and also solopreneurship. So all of these knowledge comes together. It's probably the outcome and natural milestone from more than 30 years of research and work. But my adventure as solopreneur didn't start 30 years ago. It started when I was a kid, when I started selling books in big events, in congresses, in gatherings, and when I started selling playtime, video games when I was in school, and my activities as solopreneur continued. So one of the things I learned as a solopreneur combined with manifestation and fractal time is that when you look at the future, independently of the circumstances you have today, you need to navigate whatever situation you have and trust yourself that you are not lost. You know where you're going, and that should be enough for you to arrive to your destination. So last year, at the end of the year, I had no house. I have my debts increased because for this experience with my customers and partners, 50,000 will be off from my budget, so I will have debts. I will have to put all my websites down, my technology down. I will have to tell to many people that expecting from me some income that it's not going to be the right time to do that together. And I will need to start over. So how do you start over without capital? Many times I have done that, and I have done that as a way of training myself, as a way of exploring opportunities and having discipline, deciding, okay, for that project I want to explore, I have only 50 euros. Can I build up a company in 2 years starting with 50 euros? And I know it is possible to do. Yet this time was a very complex situation. Either way, all is working fine so far. I have been building up a new website, started selling products in 10 euros, and slowly I use a methodology and a business model that helped me bootstrap and increase rapidly the fees, the price, and the value of the content So I end up very soon selling products on 1,000 euros, 2,000 euros, and 500 euros. So this is a complete change, and obviously I'm recovering slowly. I have to build a complete new brand. So right now I'm not working with a collective of solopreneurs as we were planning to do in the past. I'm just working with my own personal brand and developing one more time new partnerships with aspiring solopreneurs that want to receive my coaching and training. Well, all the story is going fine. But what helped me to get there? As you saw in the images before, my working space is at the same time the place I live. But I didn't need comfort. I needed to go out completely from my comfort zone. So the first weeks I started traveling and moving around, sleeping in nature, sleeping in a tent, that connected me to my past, my time of becoming a traveler and solopreneur, and energized me tremendously, gave me so much clarity about what I wanted to realize in the future. The next step for myself was to, receive the kind support from friends of mine that make available for me a room from time to time where I could work. And this was an amazing thing. So in that room, what I will do basically is to have a discipline, a fractal time discipline. And when I sleep, I will sleep in a mat of yoga. Today I have a tatami where I can practice martial arts, Primordial, and I can practice music. I brought my music instruments there. I'm working not sitting by standing. So all the discomfort elements that I could put in, like every day I pack my futon and I pack my covers, and then the room converts into a studio for music, into a space for practice, yoga, martial arts, conscious movements, and an office with a standing desk. All of that means that I will constantly flow from regenerative activities, empowering activities, energizing activities, phone calls, working online, and that will iterate every day. Consistency, commitment, endurance, vision, self-motivation, and clarity. But that is in terms of your discipline, what you do with yourself. When you are interacting with the world, you need to make yourself accessible. To reach 10,000 visitors in my website and a number of customers already working with me and partners collaborating with my work within a short period of time, for me means a very important milestone. But there is a lot more behind, and it has to do with the business model. The business model today is not looking for fixing problems of the past, it's looking for really achieving the milestones that I have in plan for the future to continue developing my roadmap and completing my legacy project. My legacy project is about transferring the knowledge I have acquired in the last 30, 40 years to the following 9 generations. And how to do that is through a license system and to a partnership system with a circular compensation system so that our members and partners can earn money while collaborating with the ecosystem to growth, and we're talking about 50% of what they generate from sales. And the same amount of money is converted into credits that they can use in the Metrics 2 Academia so that I can give them coaching and training. That means that the financial barrier for them to receive coaching and training, complete milestones, modules, challenges, to receive certificates and licenses doesn't exist anymore. Yet they need to have a commitment into their own path as solopreneurs, into personal growth, learning about marketing and communication, learning how to unleash their own potential and create value out of their previous experience, creativity, and knowledge. They need to learn how to implement systems in daily life. They need to learn about strategic management and solopreneurship and learn to really improve the skills that they have. So in this case, my specialty has been, since I was a child, to work as a solopreneur. And this is the experience I can share with them. And if they want a pathway that is very aligned to the pathway of personal growth and spiritual growth, dedicated to self-sufficiency and autonomy, to purpose-driven ambition, achievement, realization, then the collaboration with me will feel really okay. They will take challenges that will help them to learn by doing, learn by playing, learn by developing projects and earning an income, eventually developing multiple income streams, and having their own project at hand and a project that we co-create together, a project that they are developing that has been initiated by me for many years already, and they help me to grow. And in that way, they're going to generate income that very well they need for their own projects, for their own life. They're going to gain experience, and at the same time, they're going to receive coaching and training, licenses and certificates. So we grow together. This model is very important for me because it helps me to support the people that is really aligned to the work I do. And it helps me to support and realize their own dreams and visions, which is my main purpose. And the question is how to achieve that by using nature principles, holistic wealth principles, holistic freedom principles, sustainable business models like the circular compensation system, and helping us invest in our own creativity, in our own personal brands, in our own legacy. So when I am developing this approach, there are a few elements that I think are very important to share with you today. One is that I use no code. I do marketing in an organic way. I'm not investing in advertisement, and I'm not investing in tools. I'm investing in conversations. The third thing is that I utilize an agile methodology. That means that the products I develop are adjusted, polished, improved, crafted according to my audience, my customers, depending on the project. And it is done through a bootstrapping strategy. That means that I will start with no budget at all and craft a product to reach a specific target group. With the income, with the profit, I will complexify the product and approach a new target group. And I will iterate and continue doing that so that in an accelerated manner, I will start reaching slowly to the complexity of the product I want and also to the specific target group I want to work with. So this approach for business, for collaboration, for personal growth and spiritual growth comes hand to hand with the methodologies, the tools, the skills I have developed and I teach at the Metrics 2 Academia. And in this process, in the last 6 months, I have been really achieving several milestones, which makes me feel confident that in the future I will achieve the vision and the goals I want to realize. Yet, I must tell you, we're going to have more challenges in the future, and probably the externalities, the changes and transitions we see in the world, we're going to change and shake us and move us to new transitions and learning curves and adaptation one more time. That will never stop. And this is the point. When we learn to navigate change and transition, when we manage to accelerate that inner process of change and transition and embrace the process of change and transition as an impulse for our development, when we develop that ability, and it always becomes more and more complex by the day, but if we can keep a good pace on personal growth and developing our skills, then it's like riding a wave, to surfing a wave. It's going to be moving all the time, and it's going to be necessary a balance to be kept all the time, but it's going to be fun. Well, this is the story I wanted to share with you today, and to invite you to pay attention to the challenge that will be launched the 1st of November. It's a free challenge from 3 to 18 days dedicated to the Awakened Hyper Body, which is the book I have published recently. And it's about making all this knowledge of 700 pages book into a pragmatic daily life function, right? So that means that you can use all the methods, the techniques, the information, the concepts, the ideas of the book, the stories of the book, and translate them into your daily life practice, into personal growth, into achievement. Next to that, we are opening obviously a VIP program for those that would like a more in-depth commitment and attention. And for those that would like to follow their own individual process, we have launched now some individual workshops that are there for them to tailor-made a journey into hyper consciousness and hyper consciousness learning. So this is all for now. I'm happy to update you, and I am glad to welcome you in our ecosystem.